Well, and
And
then
you're not trusting the American people. You're insisting that the American people trust the Democratic Party, and you've done nothing to deserve our trust.
which is only compounded by the way Vice President Harris was moved into the spot. Because rather than doing open primaries
That's right.
and allowing the voters to see their part in the process,
Right.
they essentially anointed her, once
Yes.
again telling people whose time it was.
Exactly. And that you want to irritate the American citizen, make them feel like you're taking away their right to choose.
Yeah.
Knock yourself out. Now, this ain't pro-choice versus pro-life, because even when we think about pro-choice, let's keep this in mind. There are white women all over the place who voted for Donald Trump.
Yeah.
They were aware that Roe v. Wade was overturned. They were aware that a federal mandate had gotten stripped from their grasp, and now it was a states' rights issue.
Yeah.
They knew all of this. They didn't care. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at the Michelle Obamas, the Kamala Harrises of the world, the Hillary Rodham Clintons, Oprah Winfrey, and all these. I'm looking at these folks and I'm like this. Oh, so it's us. There's women out there that's voting against this.
Yeah,
The fellas are thinking about the economy. They're thinking about immigration. They're thinking about crime in the streets. They're thinking about their pockets, and they're thinking, because what do men do? Men are about providing and protecting. That's what men do. Outside of that, they're like, y'all handle it. Yeah. Y'all handle it. It's just like a man. If you're a man that provides for your family, you come home. My father used to do this, God rest his soul. My father was the enforcer. My mother ran the house. She told you what to do. God help you. If it got to him, he wanted nothing to do with it.
Same.
He wanted to watch.
My dad too.
He wanted to watch his baseball or football games. He had his pork chops or his lamb chops with a can of Budweiser, and he wanted to watch his sports or he wanted to watch his westerns. Mama handled everything else. He only got involved under one condition. If mama came to him and said, he's a problem,
Get rid of him.
it's like, and my father, but no negotiation.
Oh, no.
That, excuse my language, that was your ass. And literally, not figuratively, he was going to whip your ass for one reason and one reason only. You know what that reason was?
She said so.
She said so.
Yep.
It got to him. If you wanted to work this out and negotiate it, make sure it didn't get to him. Ladies, that's men.
Yeah.
That's who we are. We don't get into the weeds like that. We don't want to know the ingredients. We want the meal. We don't want all of that. We don't want to get in the weeds. And I'm saying to you, when they brought up all of these other issues, the men are sitting there looking at all of these surrogates for the Democratic Party. I was like, really? Like, well, how's the money? What's inflation like? How much is it going to cost me? How much money's in my pocket? You going to take care of the border? You going to make sure that when I take my family out, whatever, I ain't got to worry about getting robbed in the streets or whatever. You going to do that? That's guys. All that other stuff, we weren't paying attention to that. In our minds, we left that to y'all.
Well, and smartly, 10 states put it on the ballot, women's reproductive health, and 7 passed it.
Yes.
Even in Trump.
That's right.
Yes.
But they gave him another option. They gave him the option of voting against that and still picking the Republicans.
That's right.
Yeah, that's what I mean, though. But there were people that recognize we need to enshrine it, and that maybe states, it should have always been at the states. But it took the power away from that issue.
I'm just saying that behind the scenes, when we talk about, and please correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, the fellas sitting there looking at me, leaving me hanging.
No,
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
I'm letting you work.
The guys are back like, all right, I got daughters, I got a wife, I got a girlfriend, I got sisters, I got a mama, whatever the case may be. Reproductive rights are very, very important. I got it. Okay, fine. Here you got my vote. But we're not thinking about it.
Yeah.
We're just like, here, you got it. That ain't what we're worried about.
Yeah.
So our attitude was, if y'all are so worried about it, well, then make sure you do something about it. So when Trump turns around and you got a vast majority of women out there, I think the number was like at 52 or 53%,
yeah, it's more
who
than
voted
half.
for him, you're like, well, how'd that happen? And then we're looking at it. I'll give you a sports example, the WNBA.
Thank you for going with
People bring up the WNBA. Let me tell you something about the WNBA. First of all, I'm so proud of those ladies.
Aren't
They
you?
did a phenomenal job this year. But they also messed up. Caitlin Clark is the golden goose. She should have been on Team USA. Mm-hmm. You should have marketed her more. A rising tide lifts all boats. Who gives a damn if she's white, black, or anything else? You had folks in the WNBA, most of them were very supportive. Most of them were small, opposed to listening and deducing. This is what the facts show us we need to do. We better get on board. I don't sit up there and do First Take or anything in television or on any level without paying attention to the numbers. I don't go to a Bob Iger, a Dana Walden, Jimmy Pitaro, Burke Magnus, Dave Robinson, these guys. I just want to do this and I pay no attention to the numbers. When I make a proposal, I got an idea and I have an idea of how successful it will be. I have reasons and rationale to buffer my argument, and I'm making the case numbers wise. Why? Because that's what you do to judge. Mm-hmm. You know, The View is popular. It ain't popular because everybody is like. Have you seen some of the things that Whoopi has said or Joy Behar has said or you or anybody else? Well, guess what? Some people love it. Some people hate it.
They're all numbers.
They're all numbers. It's not about who's loved or who's hated. I tell people all the time, your definition of love touches on the heart. My definition of love is numbers.
Yeah.
What does it say First Takes ratings are? Here's what I know.
Oh, you're going to get along with Brian.
We've been number one for 12 and a half years. That's what I know. Let me say, First Takes number one because people love me. Mm-hmm. People just can't get enough of me. I mean, they just love my style. They love my verbiage. They love my oratorical skills. You ain't heard me say that. I said, we're number one. That's what I say. And to me,